Okay, today we're going to talk about Holland's fire and burglary rated safes. It's otherwise known as the Oyster series. That's what they call it at Holland. So the fire and burglary rated safes, the series, the F&B series, we have a couple of them right here. So these are both fire and burglary rated safes. That's why the part number is FB. So this is the FB 450E. I have two of them right here. They're both the electronic version, but they do come with manual. On any of them, we can get manual dials too. But this is the smallest model they have, the FB 450. Then we have the FB 685 right here next to me. And then on the other side of this island here, I have the FB 845. And then there's a couple other models that are even bigger, but they all pretty much have the same specs. So I'm just going to kind of go over the series, tell you what it's all about, and then we'll go from there. So these line of safes are designed specifically to resist both burglary and fire. Not all safes are fire rated and burglary rated, but these are. So these are like this series is between the office safes and the TL rated safes. So it's basically your high as you can go without going to a TL rated safe. So these safes have been put through rigorous tests at rigorous KSI and JIS 2-hour fire tests. KIS is a Korean industrial standard, and JIS is the Japanese industrial standard. They both do the 2-hour fire test. Both of them do a 2-hour fire test, but the KIS does the fire test at 1850 Fahrenheit, and the JIS does their test at 1700. But they use both tests for these safes. So the KIS and JIS tested safes. You've heard of the UL Underwriters Laboratories. Sometimes we'll test out some of the safes. They're kind of the standard, but they're also very pricey. Some other companies use KIS or JIS to help counter some of that expenses because they can get the same test done, but it's going to be from a different company. So as well as being tested for 2-hour fire rating, which these are all 2-hour fire rating safes. As well as that, they're also 30-foot impact tested, drop tested. So 30 feet drop tested. And I believe they even take it out of the first fire test, drop it to test the integrity of it, and then put it back in and test it for the fire rating. So these go through rigorous testings. The 350 degrees, it also keeps, for the time frame, that 2 hours, it also keeps the interior temperature below 350 degrees. And the reason why that 350 degrees is so important is because at 350 degrees, paper starts to discolor. But once it hits 451, then it lights on fire. So it's important to make sure that the safe stays below 350 so it doesn't damage. Say this was your will and it was in there, it'll start discoloring at 350, and before it hits 451, it'll light on fire. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the FB 450, and then I'll open up this FB 685, and we can put some pictures up in the corners and things for the other models. They all look pretty much the same, they're just bigger. The inside looks the same, they're all just bigger. So each safe is engineered with the heavy-duty vault-style hinges, these heavy-duty hinges on the outside that you see right here. They also have, I'll open this one up. On this side right here, you see how my finger goes, the lips behind the safe? It has a 1-inch lip that runs the whole length, so it grabs in behind the frame of the safe. So even if someone was to come and cut the hinges off, your door is still going to be secure. It's not going to fall off because you have that whole 1-inch piece of concrete here, it looks like, or metal, that integrates and goes behind the frame and locks in. It also has an auto lock feature, so as soon as I close it, it locks up. So anyway, that is the smallest of the series. Then we have this 685, which is the next step up from the 450, and I'll open that up for you too. And that's the 685. So this one has one adjustable shelf in it. Those have one adjustable shelf. Two. This one has two, sorry. This has one adjustable shelf. This has two, and the 845 also has two adjustable shelves in it as well. So on the safety of these units, they all have relockers and hardened steel plates, but the relocker on the 450 is different from the relockers on the rest of the series. So in the FB 450, their smallest unit, they use a standard relocker, but on the 685 and up, they use a glass relocker. The difference is on the standard relocker, it's kind of this piece of metal that's mounted to the back of the lock body that's holding a spring-loaded pin. And if you knock off the lock body, then that whole thing will fall off and the pin will fall into the railings and lock up the safe. It's a lot easier to set off a glass relocker versus the metal relocker. So the reason why the higher end ones have a glass relocker is because they're a lot more sensitive, and they tend to activate quicker than the standard metal ones. So anyway, so they all also come with the, you could get them in a manual dial or with the electronic keypad. These all have the standard S&G UL rated, UL listed grade 2, I believe, electronic keypad. As well, and on the outside also has this particular handle that's made specifically for this series, this 3-spoke handle here. So as I said earlier, it's ranked between the TL safes and the office safes. This is where it kind of falls in between there. So these are very very popular here. Matter of fact, we were talking to a customer about one not too long ago, and if you notice, it's pretty solid too. And even with the door open, so they open the door. Usually when you open the door and you hit on the safe, you can hear it a little bit more hollow, but regardless, it's solid. This little one here weighs 242 pounds, so it's a solid safe. This one here weighs what, 345. So another feature the Oyster series offers is the automatic relocking. Like I told you, whenever you close the door here, there's a little trigger on the inside of the door. Maybe I can show you in this one here. On this one right here, I can push a button and it throws the bolts. So I push that, there's a little trigger here. So when the door closes, it throws the bolts automatically. So it's just an auto relocking feature. Not all the series have that, but this particular one does. So all of them are 2-hour fire rated. All of them have 30-foot drop tested. They all have a UL listed lock. They all have that vertical locking bar that locks in behind the frame, as well as the bolts on the door too, and the 3-spoke handle. If you're gonna be, this is as high as you go without kind of going to the next level of the TL rated safes, which is, those are usually used in like jewelry stores and things like that for insurance purposes. But anyway, this is a great line of safes. As I said, this is the 450, this is 685. We could put some pictures of the 845, which I have on the other side here, and show you that. And then there's 2 other models above that are bigger. And those models are, so you have the 450 right here, the 685, the 845 on the other side, which is a little taller. And then after the 845, you have the 1054 and the 1505, which we don't sell very many of those, are very big and are very heavy. But hopefully this helps explain some of Holland's products, their product lines, their F&B, fire and burglary rated safes. So if you're looking for both protections, this is the series that'll do it, the Oyster series by Holland, the fire and burglary rated safes. We appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully this gives you a little bit more, shines a little bit more light on a topic that's not discussed that commonly on the internet. So let us know if you have any questions. You can put them down below in the comments, and we'll try to answer those for you. We appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget, we're on all the social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all of them. And we have 2 other YouTube channels as well. Don't forget Udropreneur, which we can put a link up, and Guardian Approved. And thanks for tuning in.